Hello everyone, welcome to a new Marvel Snap Zone Premium Coaching. Today we're gonna talk about, basically what we talked about already in the past, just we're gonna go a little deeper in it. So if the people in the conversation can see my screen, does anyone know what a SWOT model is? Or do we need to explain that?
Oh, sounds like may as well explain, yeah.
All right, so remember what we did a few coachings ago when we talked about raw power decks and relative power decks? That's still good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so basically what we're going to do today is go a little deeper and we're going to get away from a deck is raw power or a deck is relative power, and we're actually going to check the raw sides of a deck and the relative sides of a deck, because when it comes to OTA or patches, at least in Marvel Snap, a card can change an archetype, but it can also just change a matchup, or it can just shift what a deck is good at and bad at, or it can just reinforce something. So just looking at a deck which is raw or relative, it helps. It gives us some context. But in the context of just changing one card, it's often not complete enough. So through this kind of things, what we're going to do is we're going to break down a deck into these separate pieces. And so we can see which card contributes to which part. So when we want to include a new card or that kind of things, we know what are the benefits of including it and what are the problems of including it. So for those who don't know what a SWOT is, it's the initials of strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It comes from the economy, but like I have a master's degree in economy, which is why I took this from there. But I'm sure there are a lot of ways of doing it. And the raw power of a deck is usually strength and weaknesses, so this doesn't take matchups into account most of the time. So a strength are going to be the thing that the deck is really good at. For example, if you think he has a good points potential, if you think the deck is pretty flexible with the way it can play its point, if the deck is able to reach in playable locations or not, all that kind of thing. Weaknesses is the same thing, is like things the deck struggle with, so unplayable locations. A very specific sequence of card needs to happen for the deck to be really good. If you don't draw a card, your deck basically doesn't work, that kind of thing. And then when we go to the bottom line, which is opportunities and threats, we're going to look at the environment, we're going to look at the matchups. For example, opportunities. Currently, if your deck is completely demolishing both move and good cards, that's a huge opportunity because these are two decks that are very popular. On the other side, if, let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna say something that doesn't make sense, but it's just for the example. Let's say in the last OTA, Shanna got buffed, and suddenly Kazoo comes back because Shanna is good in Kazoo because it summons a lot of one cost, and Kazoo is a really bad matchup for you for some reason. Well, that would go in the threats. A card from a deck that I'm really bad against just got buffed, so I can expect to see more of it, which means I can expect to see more bad matchups, which means my deck is going to go lower in relative power. Does all the explanation make sense? Do we have to discuss certain points? Because then we're actually going to go into the practical side of it, so it's really important that we get this theory down before we actually do it.
Good to me.
Okay. I'll take the silence of the other ones as a good as well. Hello, Bishop. I just saw that you joined the call. All right, so we're gonna do it with probably the deck that gained the most from the OTAs, which is Silver Surfer, because it gained like Crystal if he wants to play it. Shanna is also playable, although the card hasn't made it in the deck, and it also gained Forge, which is now able to be paired with like Bishop, or it's also actually pretty good with Storm, because now your Storm is actually able to contribute to points on the lane and things like that. The thing is, when it comes to Surfer, there are a ton of lists. So let's start with just checking the lists. I think, yeah, I got 3, but it's just to show the big, like, parts of the deck. It's not like def and diff 12 cards. So the first one would be something like this. So this is the basic Surfer. I don't play Nova Killmonger because I feel like move is better lately. It's better against move, but I guess the normal way of playing the deck would just remove Craven and then either Absorbing Man or Rogue, and we get Nova Killmonger. But let's just consider this the basis for now. Then we have... nope. Where is it? Oh no, these are just archetypes with Forge. These are not Surfer decks. Okay, I'll do it by voice. Then we have the Dakin Surfer. If everyone see which one it is, I think it was popularized by Dara, which is Dakin, Wong, Absorbing Man, Gambit, Colleen Wing, that kind of things. And we also have Negative Surfer, and we also have Move Surfer, which is similar to this one, except there's much more like moving parts. I don't think it plays Sarah and that kind of thing. So the archetype... Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Are we supposed to be looking still at the graph?
No. There's the deck. There should be the deck. Oh. Because once again, that's on me. I'm not sharing screen. I am sharing windows. Now you should have the deck.
Much better. Thank you.
Well, that's completely on me. Thanks for interrupting. Okay, so as I was saying, this is the basic one, which is basically like plus or minus Craven and either Rogue or Absorbing Man for Nova Killmonger. And then we have like all the variations, so they can full move or negative. But they're all Surfer decks. And I think apart from negative, they can all play Forge, because all these decks... Well, I mean, negative could actually play Forge if you wanted as well, because there's still Brood in it, and that's the main reason why Forge was included. Forge is seeing a lot of play in the Dakin one as well, because you get Brood and Dakin, which are decent targets. So yeah, we'll do the example on the Surfer. So, why can't I see it? Open. Is it because it's open somewhere else? Oh no, it's because I put it in a file. Here. Alright. So this is the one we can modify. So, let's start with the strength of the Surfer deck. So, who has ideas of why Surfer is good? In general. Like, we're not talking matchups yet. We're just talking why is the deck good currently.
It can go tall on a lot of different lanes, often at the same time.
Yep.
Competes everywhere, basically.
Points everywhere. Yes. Easy to play tech cards in. So if you have some, just shout them out. It's the easiest way to do it.
It often resists a lot of tech cards because it'll be under the Shang limit. Often doesn't rely on ongoing, but can.
Enchantress. Okay, we got some location disruption with Storm. We got one cost disruption with Killmonger. I'll just write like ability to slot in various tech cards, because otherwise I'm just gonna make a list of all the cards. And one that I like a lot is it can play proactive or explosive. So you can either just slam points or you can play Sarah and be a little bit more surprising. Okay, there are probably more, but that's already a pretty good list. And even though we're talking about a really good deck, we have to go for weaknesses. So what kind of weaknesses does Surfer have?
It's funny. I'm thinking of relative weaknesses, but you want specifically on the raw side.
Yep. For example, like you can't reach unplayable locations. At least unless he plays Jeff, which is... Yeah, for now we're looking at what can the deck do and not do in regards to what Marvel Snap asks you to do.
I mean, without Silver Surfer, the deck has a hard time putting a lot of power.
Yes, it is dependent on drawing Silver Surfer. This is very true.
Can you hear me?
Now we can, Bishop. This is the first time
great.
I've heard you since you joined.
Something was turned off on him. So Surfer's prone, it's prone to Magneto.
Yeah, but that's gonna be more in threats. Because this is not Marvel Snap, this is opponent. This is the difference between weakness and threats. Weaknesses work in every situation. Threats work in specific situation that we have to be mindful of and that we can actually act on. Like, basically weakness is something you cannot act on. If you don't draw Surfer, your deck sucks, no matter what opponent you have in front of you. Well, if your opponent doesn't play Magneto, your weakness to Magneto doesn't exist.
Gotcha. So
Like
awkward 5 turns?
Awkward 5 turns? Like turn 5?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's Sarah, but weak turn 5, I can go with that.
Okay.
I'll write
Not sure if
most
this
of the
is-
time, but... Sorry, go for it.
No, please, sir. Oh, I was just going to say, it can go relatively high in all 3 lanes, but sometimes it can't get the highest level points in 2, so it can just be outmatched. But I don't know if that's more of a threat kind of issue. It's not the tallest deck out there.
Yeah, it's not a points deck, which is why that part, like ability to slot in various decks and flexible cards, is true. But yes, it's... I would not say average, but I wouldn't say like... I can write it.
I didn't... The list you were running, I didn't know he had Zabu in there.
There's no Zabu in Surfer lately.
Okay.
I mean,
Seems
I haven't
like a
seen
B
most.
plus
I
on
haven't
points.
I haven't seen. Is that okay if I rate it this way? Silvermint.
Yeah.
All right. We actually got a few weaknesses. So if some come, like later on, feel free. All right. Opportunities. So my favorite one in the current metagame, Shadow King bullies move decks.
Cosmo's a really strong piece of interaction.
Cosmo? What?
Yeah, Cosmo, I mean, is at least good disruption against Destroy and the rest of the meta.
That would be strength, like ability to slot in various techs and flexible cards. Because otherwise, like, the opportunity depends on the cards that you have in your deck. And you can't have all of them at once. Like, at least I've never seen a deck with, like, Cosmo, Shadow King, Rogue, Storm, etc., etc. Like, you have to make a choice. So it's hard to say that you're countering a specific deck apart from, like, the cards that are in most lists. And I guess like the most common text right now, I think it's Shadow King is the most common one. Unless you think Cosmo is in more surfer list than Shadow King currently.
Would you, in opportunities, would you put Brood is strong in many locations?
I would have put it in strength.
Okay,
Because like that's not based on your opponent. Brood is strong.
I see.
So this may have faded from the meta a little bit, but it escapes lockdown because it can grow its points after the fact.
Yes, so could we say that Professor X
It can spread into lanes on early turns and therefore isn't hurt by lockdown of those lanes.
It's mostly thanks to Brood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess because when those cards come in on like turn 3, 4, 5, at max you can play 2 3 costs, while Brood just fills it immediately, and it's more surprising for the opponent.
Mm-hmm. It also seems to resist some location disruption, because if they're all 3 costs, you don't care if the Polaris moved it to one lane or another, it's still going to get buffed at the end.
Not sure what you mean.
So a lot of times you can one way to wreck somebody's game plan is they need to stack components on a particular lane, and if you move it away with a Spider-Man or a Polaris, then their combo's broken. Surfer's going to hit all the 3 points no matter where the opponent has shuffled it. So it's strong against location disruption.
Okay. Is it okay if I rate it this way?
Yeah.
Maybe it's even better if I rate it this way.
Yeah, I think that's clear.
Okay. Do we have more opportunities in the current metagame? Well, we put in strength resistant to Shang-Chi, Enchantress, and such popular tech. Maybe that's an opportunity, actually. Now that I notice it. I'll take the Cosmo idea. I'll just write it more like broadly.
Is an opportunity in this situation be that it can take advantage of an opponent's magic?
Yes. Because we have Storm and we're okay to play 7 turns.
I don't know if this one is too narrow or conditional, but it seems like one of the favorite OTA moves is to drop something down into a 3 cost. And so it always seems to get new toys.
I guess that's too specific.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, let's move on to threats. So we got the Magneto that was mentioned before.
Wave can be pretty disruptive as well.
Yep. What else?
Would you put locations here as a weakness, like specific locations?
Now, weaknesses, I would put it in the weakness because that's not based on the environment. Unless you consider the environment has locations or decided by the devs. But right now, there's no like location rotation. So I'm just gonna consider location exists or doesn't exist. But yeah, I would say like imagine, I don't know, I'm gonna say something stupid, but like destroy. The fact that there are several destroy locations in the game would be a strength, not an opportunity, because no matter which opponent is in front of me, except if it's another destroy deck, I see a destroy location, I'm happy. Like, think really like the bottom row is specific situation, the top row is global situations, and most of the time locations are going to be global because it's everybody plays by the same rules.
Maybe a threat could be, since you tend to Surfer on 6, Death Strike can wipe out your Brood and other things you were planning to buff on 6.
Wait, I didn't catch the start of the sentence.
So often Brood will just be sitting there, its clones will just have 2 points, which leaves it vulnerable to Death Strike on 5, considering you weren't going to buff it with Surfer usually until 6. And then if you drop Surfer, there's nothing to Surfer if it's all gone.
That is true, but I would put it if Lady Deathstrike wasn't considered a bad card and most people dropped it already.
Fair enough.
Like, Magneto and Wave are on the rise, popularity-wise, but if threats would just put every threat in the game, that's not the environment. Then it becomes weaknesses. Like, we're trying to assess cards that we reasonably have to think about it. Like, in Conquest, at least for now, I'm not gonna play around Lady Deathstrike until I've been hit by it at least once, while there are certain decks which could announce a Magneto, which could announce a Wave, and I might think about it game 1, even if I'm not sure they have it in the deck.
I see. So weakness is like a vulnerability it could face, something that shuts down, but it doesn't count as a threat unless it's popular in the meta, because a mere possibility usually doesn't hurt you. Actual cards hurt you.
Yes, because if you play around everything, you just stop playing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You still need to win the game. If you play every turn with, oh my god, but if he has this card, you just never play. Because you're constantly... I can find a problem to any play in the game.
I see. Okay, so
it needs to be,
threats is a way to think about it.
It needs to be a reasonable threat. The same way we did it when we did like grouping of decks to try to counter the meta. You're not going to try to counter a 1% deck. It's just not worth the investment. So it's the same thing. You're not going to play around a 1%, maybe my opponent does this, unless you have reasonable doubt this is going to happen.
Super helpful, thanks.
Okay, do we have other ideas? Threats. Cosmo is pretty popular, isn't it? Or not? Not sure.
I see Cosmo every once in a while, but I'm not sure. I guess it really isn't as popular.
Okay. Are there bad matchups, like decks that you would consider that Surfer doesn't want to play against in the current meta? I would say Git cards is not such an easy matchup unless you play Rogue, because rocks really hurt if you don't have like Surfer and Sarah already.
Bounce still? I don't know how popular Bounce is currently.
Bounce is very not popular. Oh, Spider-Ham. That's the card I was looking for. Spider-Ham on Sarah is a bitch. Let's check a tier list or something, see if there are decks that could actually have an impact.
And sometimes struggle against Shuri. Things that go really tall on just 2 lanes.
Even with Shadow King? Oh, it could be.
If they use something like a Zola to scatter it around, it can be a bit hard to target with Shadow King, but...
Okay, well, that involves priority, and it means that they also are winning a 50-50 of not touching Shuri.
maybe the fact that there aren't that many threats explains part of why Surfer is so comfortable for a lot of people. It's a really solid, reliable strategy in just a whole lot of matchups.
That's usually the mark of some of the best decks in the game. It's really hard to find problems with it. That's why it's good. I mean, if we could find 10 problems in 2 minutes, we would probably be like, why are we talking about this deck? Like, why are we playing it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't see that many problems. Like, maybe we'll have some that are common later on.
I can maybe see something like an evolved Lockjaw, but I don't see a whole lot of evolved Lockjaw anymore.
Lockjaw is not a good matchup because, yeah, they put a lot of points really early, and most of their cards do not care about Shadow King one bit. Like, they're just like, hello, I'm Infinite. Yeah, feel free, Shadow King.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? I'll become a 19 just for you. I'm on sale. I don't care. Alright, so now we have this. So what are we gonna do with this? We are, every time there's a new card, and that's the reason why I don't want to get too attached to one list when I do this, because if you get too attached to one list when you do this, you change one card, and you have to change it. And it's super annoying, because then you spend your whole days doing this over and over again, because in the case of the current metagame, I mean, the good cards move has 3, 4, 5 ways of being built. Good cards are 3, 4, 5 ways of being built, and Surfer has 4 different archetypes. So if I have to do this for every single different list of every archetype, I'm going to spend 3 hours on it. So my goal is to make it general enough that it just fits the category. This is why I don't put tech cards in strength. This is why I don't put rogue as a strength. I don't put Cosmo as a strength. I put them in opportunities because I don't have to play them. But the fact that the deck can play them is an opportunity to me to adapt to the current metagame. And when there are OTAs, when there is a patch, things change. And what I want to do is I want to be able to adapt this looking at what the new card does. So this was the normal one. Now let's imagine we're going to make one single change. Goose is out, Forge is in. What does it change to what we did?
We're worse against decks that play 4+ cost cards.
Yes.
Goose was out, who was in?
Sorry, what?
Goose was out, who was in?
I can't understand.
Forge?
I'm sorry.
So, Goose was
in Forge.
Goose out, Forge in.
Forge in.
It might hurt us a bit in mirror matches if the other Surfer has a Shadow King.
Shadow King much stronger.
Our Shadow King's also a little bit weaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now we're afraid to use our tech card in some places.
Perhaps more vulnerable to Shang-Chi.
I don't think we go up to 9 because of it. Or you would have to be a little careless. I mean, if you become vulnerable to Shang-Chi because of it, I think it's more on you than it is on the deck. But there's one thing here that becomes really good. That's a strength. Like, literally, you go Forge into Brood and you tell your opponent, good luck taking that lane. And we could go even further, where we go Forge into Brood into Absorbing Man, and then we literally just have to play Surfer, and we're like, hello, we're really good at this. So we gain 2 threats, which is we're worse to block big cards, and Shadow King is a little bit more annoying for us to use, and a little stronger against us. So the threat becomes the mirror match, maybe. But on the other end, I mean, was Goose ever a problem in the mirror match? It's not like we removed the Git card for the mirror match. So, but we gain 1 big strength. So here, personally, I see plus strength, which means plus general, minus threats, so relative. Considering it's a new metagame, because they were changed, does anyone remember what usually we're looking for right after changes? You have to remember, like, I think the coaching from 3 weeks ago for that.
Sorry, could you rephrase the question?
Usually, right after changes, what would be looking for in a deck? Would we be more looking for raw power or more relative power? Because basically, our relative went down, our raw went up.
Yeah, usually we're looking for more raw because it's hard to predict what people will do. The meta has just been disrupted.
Exactly, which means including Forge over Goose sounds like a good idea, at least at first. Now, we're gonna do it a little more like specific. So this was with an archetype that was more general, more like I can play around with it, I'm flexible, I can do this, I can do that. So now let's do it with one that isn't flexible. So I'm gonna go back to a blank one, and we are gonna do it with a Shanna deck. Can everyone see the deck? I can send it in the chat if you guys want to have it on one screen, and we'll have the SWAT on the other one. All right, so it's in the chat. So in the Surfer deck, we had the possibility to play around, and we could have done like these kind of charts for a deck that plays Cosmo plus Shadow King, and we could have done it for a deck that plays Rogue plus Nakia, and then one for Rogue plus Jean Grey. Like, you can do as many as you want. If you like charts, you can do this all day if you like. But we try to do it globally because the archetype has enough flexibility to be able to adapt. If we're looking at this deck, it's going to be really hard to adapt because in the end, the goal of the deck is Storm into Legion, turn 4, turn 5, almost every single game. And if you look at all the cards, they pretty much all go in that direction. I mean, Sunspot and Nebula are going to grow if you manage to lock the game. Daredevil lets you know if there's a problem on turn 5. Armor protects your 1 costs from Killmonger, so you can still abuse them on turn 6. Jeff is Jeff, but actually he is like his legend was born in lockdown because he's Professor X's best friend in the end. Mr. Fantastic and Shanna are just play on every lane, which is perfect when you're trying to lock the game. Storm is part of the combo. Iron Lad just because we're a combo deck and we want to have our cards as often as possible. Professor X is just bad Legion, we'll call it this way. It just wins one lane instead of winning all of them. And Chavez is for reliability. I mean, we could argue that armor can be changed. Like, we can play Howard in it if you want to make it even more reliable. But otherwise, like, unless someone manages to be extremely convincing about which cards can be changed, I think this deck is much, much, much less flexible than a Surfer deck. And I'll take that silence as a sign of agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing when we did the first chart with the Surfer is we had to remain a little bit global because we weren't sure of the 12 card. Here we're sure, so we can go straight into the details. And most of the time, flexibility is really good because it allows us to adapt. It's the sign of a good deck, etc., etc. So if a deck is inflexible, it means it needs not necessarily the perfect one, but it needs a good environment to exist. If your deck can't adapt, and the environment isn't good, we're just asking to lose cubes at this point. So this chart is, I think, much more important for unflexible decks because it's going to tell you, is the environment good or bad for your deck, especially the opportunities and threats. All right, shall we? So, who sees strength in this deck?
The first strength I'm seeing is how the game's played. You have the most energy on turn 6, and so removing that turn 6 from other decks is just a strong tool. Or would that be more of an opportunity?
I would have put it an opportunity as in we punish explosive decks looking to combo on 6. I think.
That makes sense.
But one strength that I really like, and that's, I think, for everyone, is it's a pretty unpredictable strategy. Like when you queue on ladder or you go into conquest, you don't expect to face this. You don't prepare for that kind of decks.
See, I would have thought that's a bit more opportunity because it can only count as unpredictable if we know what the meta usually consists in.
Well, I meant it more as in nobody's prepared for it.
Yeah. So maybe, doesn't walk face first into counters, maybe.
Well, that's gonna be, like, that could be into threats or weaknesses. Like, for example, one of the weaknesses could be the deck is bad. That's a weakness for some decks. Like, it happens. And usually bad decks are unpredictable because the more you get into a metagame and the more people expect the good ones. Like, even if it's not conscious, nobody prepares for a bad opponent. Like, it's just not how we're wired, I guess. But alright, there's another strength, and it goes into unpredictable, is except for Fantastic and Shanna, all the other cards could be in a lot of decks. Like, you see Sunspot or Nebula turn 1, you're like, oh, it's Inchinot. You see Nebula turn 1, you're basically, alright, 8 decks left. Sunspot is a little bit more specific, but Nebula, like, let's say someone goes Nebula into Daredevil. You might go, oh, it's a Profex deck, but or a Lockdown deck, but you're not gonna go, oh, yeah, it's a Storm 4 into Legion 5 kind of deck. Same for Jeff.
So
stuff like that.
It conceals its gameplay.
Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, let's imagine you're against someone and they go Nebula on 1, Jeff on 2, Fantastic on 3. Are you putting them on Surfer or are you putting them on this?
Yeah.
That's a strength, is when they don't see you coming, especially if it's a lockdown strategy. Like, it's even more important because if they don't understand what we're doing and they're an explosive deck, like they're negative, they're a Sarah deck, that kind of stuff, and they're like, oh, I got my perfect combo, I'm so gonna wreck this guy on turn 6, and you're just like, what turn 6? That's 8 cube right there, and that's the strength of the deck, because as we'll talk about it in the weaknesses, there's a reason that kind of deck is not top 10 or played. It's because there are other problems. So we need to make up for it through things that are not like the common ways of dominating a game of Marvel Snap, which can be unpredictability.
So could we say that a lot of lockdown decks struggle to get cubes to match their win rate because people see that they're locked down, they retreat. This one sets the trap very nicely.
Yeah, that's what I meant by unpredictable in a way.
Yeah, it's a profitable deck.
Yeah. Another thing, and that's more because I played it. Most of the time, like, I wouldn't do these charts without a few games on the deck because it's really difficult to do. Like, I would say, like, what we did in previous coachings, like just establishing like core flex decks, maybe understanding if it's a raw or relative power deck is enough. Like, when we do this, we're doing it with decks that are more like that we know about. Because otherwise this is nitpicking and we're probably going to get it wrong if we never play the deck anyway. But one that is okay is this deck is actually quite reliable because we have Iron Lad, because we have Chavez. Like in the weaknesses, we will probably say it loses if it doesn't do what it's supposed to, but it actually does what it's supposed to pretty often. And sorry, I cut someone.
Mm-hmm. I was saying one of the strengths that I appreciate in this deck is that it's flexible over the first 2 turns. You really can, you whether you draw Nebula or Sunspot or Daredevil, you have a lot, or Jeff. There's your turn 1 and 2. You can take advantage of them, and yet it doesn't force you into one specific track.
So is it okay if I just write it this way?
There you go. Okay.
I can even go that way. But yeah, like, I mean, if you don't get Legion with this deck, imagine, I don't know, you go turn 1 Nebula, 2 Sunspot, 3 Armor, and then you just storm that lane, and you're like, alright, I'm so far ahead on this lane. Whatever my opponent plays there, I'm gonna win it. And you just YOLO a Professor X on another lane, and suddenly you're like, oh cool, I won. What else could we have as strength in there? I mean, we can play in playable locations. We're pretty good into locations with Jeff and Storm and Legion.
And fantastic.
Yeah, we're really good into any kind of location almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to scratch a little bit, but every deck has strength.
Because of Daredevil, we're strong into cutting our losses in turn 6.
Yes, I agree. Like, Daredevil is really good in Conquest because you can bluff or get out of bluffs. Yes. Is it okay if I write it this way? Because I don't have a good way to write it. Alright, let's see if more strength calm down later on. So, weaknesses. And the first one is usually this deck lacks points when it doesn't go turn 1, turn 2.
You can see that.
Like, if you don't get Sunspot or Nebula on their way, immediately your Storm lane is super weak compared to what it could be. Well, there's one weakness, which is a lot of decks are playing Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Star is running Killmonger.
Well, we're playing Armor, so I don't know if it's a weakness. Because, like, if the deck didn't have Armor, for sure. But because we have Armor, and the thing is... Well, the thing is, you have 3 ways of countering Killmonger. You have Armor, you have Daredevil if they play it on turn 5, and the thing is, considering your goal is to lock the game on 5, if they keep Killmonger for a surprise, they don't know, but they never get to play it. Which is not gonna work every time, but if the first time you get 4 cubes for it, at least the next time you get Killmonger, you don't feel so bad about it. And so, for example, just to show the difference, for example, I'm going to put Jeff in the weaknesses because Jeff is so popular that I consider it a global card at this point. But in the threats, I'm going to put Vision. And it's just so we can talk about the difference between the 2 cards. Jeff, literally, like, I don't know if someone can name a deck where Jeff is not a card that can make sense in some way. Like, I'm pretty sure if we take the tier list in every single deck, apart from Cerebro 2, okay, I don't see where, like, you can't justify Jeff. While Vision is more specific. So, super global, every deck can run it. Weakness, more targeted, I can anticipate it based on the early cards I see. Threat. What else could be said about this deck?
Well,
It's
as
very...
weakness or as threat? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, we were on weaknesses. I just went with the threats just to show the difference between Jeff and the... It's really draw dependent. It's kind of lack points if no early play, but I mean, if you're turn 5, you have no Professor X, no Legion, no Iron Lad in the deck, you're very much crying.
I haven't played the deck, but I'd assume in Conquest, once you do the Storm Legion thing once, it's a lot harder to catch someone off guard.
Very good.
With the main game plan.
Yes.
Yeah, if its main strength is unpredictability, then...
And I could even go as far, like, which means... It's even worse. It means if your combo goes off and you just get 1 cube for it because your opponent retreats, that's a disaster. You showed up your entire strategy for 1 cube. Which means it pushes you. I could even go further. Which means it's telling us how we have to play. We're not flexible in the way we can play the deck. We have to snap aggressively, because otherwise we're not getting enough of our surprise effect. Shanna can be inconsistent. Yes. It's a deck based around Shanna, and Shanna is a weakness. This is a... But I mean, yes and no, because Shanna can also carry. I mean, I don't know if it's a weakness, because this depends on the deck. If you consider Shanna to be a weakness, just take her out of the deck.
I mean, I would argue that it really depends on the statistics around Shanna at any point in the meta. I mean, at any point in time, right? It depends on the power of 1-drops.
I could put it in. I could put it in threats. I mean, okay. I see the point. Like, because we have to snap aggressively. If we have to snap before we play Shanna, and Shanna trolls us, we lost cubes. Mm-hmm. But I think it's more of a player problem. Like, if you don't expect to play Shanna, like, I don't know, like, I got Nebula on 1, Daredevil on 2, and then my hand is Mr. Fantastic of Shanna, I'm just gonna snap because my opponent is great, and I'm just gonna play the safe route with Mr. Fantastic. If I anticipate I need to play Shanna, maybe I hold on to my snap and do it once I have the result of this. So I don't feel like this is on the deck. I feel like it's more on the player. I agree, it makes the deck more complicated to play. Like, it adds complexity, but it doesn't add complexity to the deck. It adds complexity to the pilot. And I'm just going to go off the assumption that as pilots, it's on us. We can't blame the deck. It's on us. We knew the risks. It was our job to consider that could happen.
So I guess that explains any randomness that you take on with Iron Lad as well. You know what's left in your deck. You can decide whether to play Iron Lad or not play Iron Lad.
Exactly. Like, it's 12 cards. Iron Lad on turn 4 means you should have, like, 5 cards left. If you don't know what 5 cards are in your deck, practice memory. I mean, if you're mad because Iron Lad hit the wrong target when you only had 1 card you wanted to hit and there's 5 left, you can't blame Iron Lad. Like, it's pixels. Don't blame pixels. Because they can't even defend themselves like that. Poor pixels, come on. Alright, it feels like we kind of hit a roadblock to weaknesses, but if more come back, let's go to opportunities. I'm not sure, but I would say a deck with Armor and Professor X in it is probably pretty good against Destroy. I'm not 100% on that.
Oh.
I mean, it's
Daredevil helps you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, and Destroy is also kind of combo. Like, Def is rarely played before 6 unless a location helped. That means they can't play Null. That means if it's a Shuri Nimrod deck, well, cool, you got your Nimrod, but you don't get to play cards to destroy it. I feel like Destroy would be a really good opportunity for this deck. But go ahead, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I was just going to add, and Daredevil can also help you know which version of a Destroy deck you're facing.
Well, turn 5, you should have figured it out, I guess.
Oh, fair. I mean, I know we already have unpredictability as a strength, but it's also got to be an opportunity. It's harder for people to play against this deck because they're not used to seeing it. Like you said, a lot of the cards are deceptive. So this deck catches people off guard in this current meta.
Yeah, and snaps are really scary. I would say it more this way. Like, snaps are very scary for our opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is where it's so difficult to work with off-meta decks because it needs really a lot of gameplay to really figure those out. What else? I want to say we probably destroy Galactus, but it's not popular enough. Magic? Will we bully Magic? We have the 2 counters to Magic, except Squirrel Girl.
We bully Move, don't we?
We bully what?
Move.
Move? Well, you only have Professor
I mean,
X. I'm not sure. I would say Move bullies us because they have a lot of cards which are really good against us.
They
Like,
can get good storm.
well, they have Jeff. They have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a great card against this deck.
I guess classic Move you beat.
Classic Move we would beat, yes.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of opportunities. I think the opportunities is we can snap and be very unpredictable. Alright, threats.
It seems like a lot of very common tech cards can break this. Like if they get our armor, if they see Storm coming down and they play a Cosmo there, this is very vulnerable to tech.
I know.
But then again, people have to know that this is what they're facing. So maybe it's not as much as I think.
Still a threat.
I think Thanos would be a threat here. I see Thanos can do a lot of the same things that this deck attempts to do.
You mean Thanos control?
Thanos control, Thanos move. I mean, there's just so much Thanos, and the stones allow so much flexibility to match. They can match what Shana does, right? And if they're doing lockdown, they also can do it faster, right? Because of the green stone. If they're doing move, then they have an additional move element as well with the blue stone. I just think that the Thanos archetypes that are very popular right now match this very well.
I agree.
We even generalize that and say that a lot of decks are trying to do pieces of what this does as well, and they might end up being more specialized or get more points. Its big strength is trying to do kind of a familiar thing in a totally unexpected way. The expected ones might actually just be stronger.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how Evo basically has our game plan, except they don't have to play the the disrupt card. They're just gonna play points instead, and then they're gonna pass 6, and they're gonna do it better than we do.
Force us down.
Sorry, what?
Well, yeah, I see. Either put on more points or just force down our points, right? Meet us in the storm lane.
Yeah,
with,
I mean,
with
I could
well,
easily imagine Evo having a stronger pass 6 than we do.
Mhm.
As long as they play Sunspot, basically they just have Sunspot Cyclop, and their 6 is better than ours. Do we see other threats?
What about the double ups?
I put it in high Evo. It's a high Evo deck.
I guess. Well, I guess if you're passing, I guess where opportunities are, we're strong against anybody who relies on turn 6, turn 7, right? Like,
Yeah.
anything that's trying to run magic.
I didn't put it here.
I don't know if this counts as a threat or it's more player, but because in some ways it's a very unfamiliar deck, you might not execute it as well as something as a comfort deck, so that might hold down its points potential. But that's not a flaw with the deck, that's just, this is maybe harder to pick up for a player.
Yes. I'll write it like this. Let me know if it's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So, we managed to find a lot of strength, which is kind of tied with weaknesses. But what's really scary is the amount of threats that we found compared to opportunities. And already, if we compare it to the Surfer one, we can see that for Surfer, the flow was much easier when we're talking about strength and opportunities, while for this deck, we had more to say about threats and weaknesses overall. So already we can see that it's, at the very least, a riskier deck, and if we're a little bit honest, probably a worse one as well. Okay, so this was the first hour, and I just wanted to show you what kind of tool sometimes I can use when I need to kind of make up my mind on a deck and maybe think I missed something and I've played enough of it, but I can't make my mind around it. Let's have the usual break that we have at the hour, and then we can either do that with your decks, or we can play a little. We can play a little, or we can try some of the decks that we showed today and compare it to the charts that we had. So as you people wish, either send decks in the chat, and we can move on to a little bit of gameplay. And we won't do the detailed chart, but we'll try to come up with, I don't know, 2 strength, 2 weaknesses, 2 opportunities, 2 threats, something like that, before we get to playing it. Or we can try the decks that we talked about and just compare the reality to the chart. All right. Are there any questions before the break? Gonna take that as a no. So see you all in 5 minutes, I guess.
Sounds good, thank you.
Hello again. Let me know when you're back.
I'm in.
I'll wait until Silvermint is done with the message, so...
Almost there.
No problem. So what have you guys decided? Do you want to share decks? And we can go over them quickly and get some gameplay done? Do you want to play the decks that were basically like born with the OTA?
No.
I haven't really. I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I personally haven't really settled on anything to play in the last 24 hours, so I guess I just keep going back to Thanos' move. So I will take everybody's suggestions.
Okay.
I am finding the SWAT modal very helpful, and it's helping me think about how you can design a deck from scratch or try to stitch some things together. So seeing how we'd use this to find more optimal card choices would be interesting to me, but everything we do is always interesting, so I don't have a strong preference.
Well, people have sent both decks. Do you have one not for long, or should we work on the two that were sent? So I'll try to get those on screen. Do you want to try all three, or is there one that you want to try in particular, Silvermint?
Of these, I feel like both the move version using multiple man and strange and discard, trying to see how we can more reliably target swarm and then suddenly fill up the board with 0-cost 3-point swarms. So maybe discard would be fun.
Okay, I have two questions.
Yeah.
One. Oh, so Colleen Wing is in it because Bast, I guess?
Yeah. And I've played around with different versions. Like Viper can potentially get rid of Colleen Wing, but it's too specific. Or Valkyrie can sometimes help smooth it out.
So let me get that on screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was question number one. And question number two, why Rhino and not Scarlet Witch?
I guess so. Scarlet Witch is cheaper, but sometimes it can turn the deck into something else that either boosts or subtracts points. Whereas Rhino, you just know that location will be neutral. It won't affect your power in any way.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're not playing Luke Cage.
Yeah. And so that could be one of the weaknesses. I don't have Luke Cage to smooth it out. But even if I did, it wouldn't prevent accidental boosts from some locations.
True. Which we can't really do anything about.
Yeah. This might be me over-preparing for niche scenarios, as is commonly my way.
Alright, well, at least we'll have two decks. Alright, I guess, Juicebox, since you have never been with us before, I guess let's go with you first, so in case it takes a little bit of time, we'll have more time. Are you able to share your screen, Juicebox? And I guess you said your mic is not working, so we're gonna have to get you to write everything. So I guess maybe we'll do it with the others. So try to write down, like, I don't know, 1, 2 would be good of each, like strength, weaknesses, opportunity, threats. And while you write it down, we'll try to do it with the others, and so we can see the difference between people that have not a lot of experience on the deck and people who actually played the deck in the past. Okay, so while you write, and you'll serve as a, like, our or correction at the end. Who has strength and weaknesses for this one? Oh, and there's the new crystal. It's even better. Oh yeah, actually, like crystal could work in Cerebro 3 now.
Yeah. Yeah. I have I think I use her in the control version. But that's just because I was getting annoyed of not drawing Cerebro.
Yeah, but then that works for all of them, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the problems I'm having is just there's so many cards that could be good. It's hard for me to narrow down. Yeah.
But alright, let's focus on the Ella deck. So, Juicebox, if you can, write what you believe about your deck while we're doing it. And obviously, we're going to be much faster than you because we have to talk and you can write. And also, if you can share your screen at some point so we can watch your gameplay, that would be great. So, strengths and weaknesses for Ella.
It looks like it has some consistency to it. You've got Howard, Ironlet. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that was exactly what I was going to say too.
Oh,
yeah.
Then you go for it.
Well, no, I mean, you got, like you said, you got Howard, you have Magic to extend things out, you have Crystal to draw, you have Iron Lad to repeat one of the other cards.
Okay, so the deck is consistent. Yes, I agree. I guess the other strength of the deck, which is why it got popular in the first place, is it's pretty good at points, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
One question I do have is why Infinite when our 4 is Iron Lad? Oh, just because we summon it with Ella? Because then I would have picked Jubilee, because sometimes you just summon Infinite and you're happy. But maybe it's not needed. Okay, we have the answers, so we have to go faster. Please don't read it before we're done. So we did strength. Weaknesses. Who's got weaknesses for the deck?
So one potential is that Hela will, scatter the cards randomly, and so if that onslaught doesn't land on the Iron Man lane, can keep down the points potential a bit. But I feel like I'm nitpicking a bit.
Well, you're combo heavy, right? You need MODOK, you need Hela. They really have to go off.
Well, you do have the Iron Man Onslaught Living Tribunal combo as well. Like, it's
you
2
really
combos.
Need 7.
What?
Oh, I see, because it's like MODOK Hela on 5/6, and gotcha, I see. The alternative.
Yeah, with Electro, you can go Electro into Iron Man, into Onslaught, into Tribunal, and you actually have a lot of points.
Gotcha.
I mean, this isn't a weakness of this version, but when you've got to hide points behind Invisible Woman, and it accidentally reveals your MODOK and discards your Hela, that kind of thing, Invisible is counterable.
Invisible is counterable. I mean, it's hard to know if it's going to be like weakness or threats, but there are a lot of reasons why this deck is not popular anymore. I mean, Invisible Woman gets moved around by move. Enchantress is still popular. Rogue is still popular. Stuff like that. But looking at what Juicebox sent us, so the strength where we see a lot of cards, so we're pretty reliable, and we have a lot of points. Yes, that's true. This deck wins a lot of games just based on points. And the weaknesses where occasionally we don't get either combos. I mean, with Magic, we're not that bad on locations, I guess. Because we can still change one. I mean, it's hard to see pure weaknesses to the deck. It's more like there's a ton of threats, I feel.
Yeah, if it does what it's supposed to, it can outpoint just about, I mean, most decks, but it then is very dependent on doing what it needs to do.
Yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
it's very much like a raw deck that wants the least relative things possible. Like if relative didn't exist, Ella Tribunal would be such a good deck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can you share your screen, Juicebox, so we can actually watch your gameplay? It can be very grindy. Let me let my dog in. Yeah, sure. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
I mean, would Cosmo help this deck? I don't know.
No, but most of the time it's not Howard, it's Echo that's in that slot to protect.
Yeah.
From Cosmo, from. Well, it's mostly Cosmo. Or there anything else?
Just making a very bad dog joke, but yeah.
Yeah.
So is one... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just breathing.
Oh, fair. Is one way to use this modal to say, like, so how do these card substitutions help you in the current environment compared to other versions of Hella Tribunal? So, it's got improved consistency. So I guess what I'm asking is, what were the problems that you were seeing that made these substitutions the solutions?
Well, in the threats, obviously there's Cosmo in front of Invisible Woman, which Echo can help with. There is changes to magic location, which we would have to play Cosmo ourselves. There is Legion, which we can do much for magic. Like we can play around Storm and Scarlet Witch, but not really Legion. Shang-Chi isn't too much of a problem most of the time. And then Enchantress and Rogue. And then it's, again, Cosmo. But the problem is you can't Cosmo the lane where you anticipate to MODOK and Ella, so... Yeah, the only solution that was found to this deck was Echo. Alright, I'm on it, so the stream can see it. If you wanna get going, it is possible. So unfortunately, considering you don't have audio, I guess I'll have to do the commentary. Unless you can play and write everything that's going through your head at the same time, which would be highly impressive. Alright, let's do this.
I figured out why it wasn't working. Can you hear me now?
Oh, great.
I got it to work, yeah. I realized I didn't have my input set right. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
All right, cool. Good deal.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, I've been playing this deck ever since I got Living Tribunal. I think I had everything except Howard. And Howard's actually really good for smoothing out how to kind of read ahead and see what's available. And one thing I didn't type out that was really awesome was I had like 3 cards left, and I was able to. I had 3 cards left, and Howard told me that I knew, because of Howard, I knew I could Iron Lad Hella, or I had Hella, yeah, I had Hella under, hoping that I had MODOK. I didn't draw MODOK, but I could Iron Lad, and MODOK was the last card in the deck. So it let me MODOK, and I discarded everything anyway. So it was really cool. It panned out pretty nice. This will be an interesting thing here. Let's see what happens. Okay. Not giving anything away yet. That's a good one. I like that.
Oh,
Okay. We got 6 cards in hand. I think I want to. Obviously, I can only play 2 different cards. I think what I want to do here is play. If I play Invisible Woman, it'll make it vulnerable to them doing something for the next few turns. So I'm going to play Howard. I can always play Electro next turn.
Yeah, and that was more my question. Like, if you play Electro next turn, when can you play Invisible Woman ever?
So I can still play it because I got till turn 7. So from here, what I'm thinking is I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 4 draws, so I'll draw every card that's left.
All right.
So if I draw it now, assuming they don't mess with it, looking at what they're playing so far, it's not very clear. I think what I'm going to do here is drop Invisible Woman here. See what they do with that information. This is where it gets fun because I don't even need the Invisible Woman. I don't want to Iron Lad because I could delete the whole hand, and that doesn't help me any.
Nah, that hand is looking good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have all your good cards, like you have all your bad cards drawn, apart from like Crystal.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could play Electro. What I could do is, so I need the timer to be longer. I could play Electro on turn 4, turn 5. I can play Tribunal. Turn 6, I can play Onslaught, and then turn 7, I can play Iron Man.
Yeah,
I think that's my play.
If you draw Iron Man by then, you could also just play Ella before.
I will have Iron Man by then because that'll be turn 7. I got 3 more turns.
Oh yeah, because you drew with Olympia, so you're 100%. But then if you're 100%, isn't it better to just stick Ella behind Invisible Woman? And whenever you draw MODOK, you just play MODOK somewhere else and you just got your whole hand?
Assuming they don't take away Invisible Woman. So let's do this instead. And wait until I get MODOK. I'll stick...
You're 100%. Hang on. You're 100% to get it, you said.
I am 100% to get it. So let's do this. Let's stick to the other plan first. And then we'll do the... Once I get MODOK and they don't take it away. Now I can do it.
Well, you could have done it before as well.
Well, now... Shit.
What's the problem?
It's fine. It's fine. Assuming they don't take away Invisible Woman on this turn, which it would be... Uh-oh. Shit.
Of course they got it. But that's kind of why I liked Hela first. Because if you Ella first and they take away Invisible Woman, Ella does nothing, but it's still a 6 power and you can still go back to the other plan.
I think we still win here, though, because that's a sweet finish. Because that puts us at 34.
They dropped Zola on... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think they're just going to Odin middle.
Yeah, it's Odin middle if they have it, yeah.
25% chance, man. Damn. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how that shakes. Because I think...
Oh, you might win on the sides. Nah, you don't have enough points. So you're going to get to 8. Oh, yeah, no. It's never enough.
Jesus.
Oof.
All right. So they...
The battle of the combo decks.
Ouch. All right. Well, good thing we didn't snap. All right. So they saw the concept of the Hela. I don't think they put together maybe the other one.
Well, they saw Tribunal and Iron Man.
Yeah, but I didn't get it together. All right. So this one, I'm kind of stuck here. Crystal on 3 is the best I got going right now at the moment, obviously. So I didn't see anything. Well, they took care of Invisible Woman. Screw it. This is what I'm thinking. We'll drop it out. If they take it out, they take it out.
Wasn't it better to keep Asgard open so you could like crystal into Iron Lad and maybe get more draws? Well, never mind. There's Attilan now.
That probably wasn't a call, but at this point, it's please hit Crystal. God.
Well, that's okay. You know they don't have anything to counter the auto combo. You can just rely on the auto combo.
True. And I can do this.
Wasn't it better to just Iron Lad? Because if you hit either Tribunal or Onslaught, your combo is still alive.
I don't want him drawing any more cards. Excuse me. Them, I don't know.
Well, if your deck places a lot of raw points, then trying to build your combo rather than preventing them.
All right. Hella's still up, and I get 2 draws. I think right now...
How many cards do you have?
I have 4 in hand. I got 5 available.
It's 40% to get Ella.
Yeah.
I mean, apart if you draw Infinite... I mean, Infinite is really bad because you can't play it. And Electro is just the shit draw, I guess. You still have 3 good draws. Like, Ella is good, Onslaught is good, Tribunal is good. They're just big cards that you just slam on the board.
I think I'm going to drop MODOK, see what happens. And I think I'm going to put it over here on Crystal. Force them to contest that lane. Interesting. That's unintentional forced contesting. Okay. Okay. Go here.
I mean, it's really draw Ella or bust at this point.
Yeah. Well, I got a 1 in 4 chance now. Well, I don't like that. Okay.
Ella. Nope.
All right. I think we're gonna lose there. All right.
Well, you could have retreat later. You never know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I don't really do that. I guess I could.
I mean, you never know.
Really bad at that.
Maybe they think you drew Ella.
True. All right, I'm gonna think on this one. So I'm gonna hold on to Invisible Woman.
Why? That's the
Because
thing. Is like,
they've gotten lucky and destroyed it multiple times. Every
Yeah,
single
but-
time I play.
the fact that
They
they got
just-
lucky shouldn't influence you. Like, for example, with Electro, I would play Invisible Woman every time because it entices them to play Gambit to kill it, and then you get a 50-50 to maybe they kill Electro.
So is there a benefit to magicking away Shuri? Because that's not going to help a Hella deck that much.
Wait, actually, do we just pass, snap, lose priority so they can't Gambit and you just give them Electro with Oscorp?
I really want to give them Electro, yeah.
How does the deck function? How does their combo deck functions with Electro?
I don't know. Let's see.
I would snap
Yeah,
on Electro middle.
same.
Like,
Well,
I don't think they've even seen you play it yet, so...
Yeah, we played it game 1.
Oh, okay.
Which is
Should
why
be
I
fun.
wanted to snap as early as possible, like as soon as we had Oscorp, because we also have not seen them play any location change. And, well, they're staying in it. Wait, Gambit didn't discard anything?
Well, there's nothing to
because
hit.
there was no target. Okay, they still didn't change it.
Ah,
Let's have some
Alright.
fun. All right. Let's go Invisible Woman, Howard. Oh
Wait,
God, it's already turn 4.
don't you want to play Magic? So you can play Modok next turn?
Yeah.
I would have let them give you cards. Because the cards you give them, they can't use because they're limited to 1 per turn.
Mhm.
But the card they give you just get discarded with Modok and come back with Ella.
True.
And they're forced to give and they're forced to play big cards because they only get 1 a turn.
Oh, that's true.
and they'll benefit more from Shuri.
I didn't think about that. Okay, fair.
Well, no, actually, Shuri's Lab is insane for Living Tribunal.
So let's do this. I know I'm not going to discard everything, and I have 2 turns presumably. So let's Iron Lad to see if I can get Hella effect
No.
and play Howard the Dome.
Can we
So I can
please
see what's coming.
can we please play Modok behind Invisible Woman and play Howard? So you can actually use Howard with Iron Lad, which means if you draw Hella, you're good, and if you don't, you can actually check on the last turn
Good
if
call.
it's okay to play Iron Lad instead.
Smart play. I like that.
We're winners. Okay, did they do anything that tells us this Invisible Woman isn't gonna pop off and crush their hopes and dreams?
Well, it doesn't matter because if it gets hit by
Can we
play Odin,
Can we
If they
check
play-
what's top of our deck, please, first?
yeah, it's Iron Man.
Okay, don't we want to go Iron Lad left? I mean, it's a 12 power Iron Man, and we have Living Tribunal in hand. That just gives us a secondary line that probably wins the game too.
Mm.
Like you could Iron Lad
But-
left, Crystal right, and
But
you
it's
get
turn 6. It's turn 6. So if they hit, if they play Odin and end up hitting hit in Gambit the Invisible Woman, I want to play Hella right now. Then I'll play.
I mean,
I gotta play it right now.
I still think Iron Lad into Crystal is better because you get Crystal, so you still get 2 cards, and if they do that, your lane is gonna be so strong. But I understand your concern. Are they gonna do a 4th time? No. Hey, they kill magic.
You made the right call. Good call.
Well, it's just that like they need to have Odin, and even if they do, it's still 66% favored. So
I think that's it, right? Yeah.
yep.
Send it.
Oh my goodness.
That was a doozy.
Oh no,
Oh,
they're
no.
gaining mana.
Why would what?
They just played what they had in hand.
They
Now
only
let's
had,
see if we can get Iron Man and Infinite in the same one. No.
Oh,
I'll allow it. Sheesh. Let's go.
okay.
That was what we wanted to happen all those games. There you go. Ooh. So 1 out of 3. Yeah.
Why did they stay in?
I have no idea. Did they think the 5 points from Absorbing Man was going to stop this? Like,
But that's the weakness of the deck, right? As soon as you realize, oh gosh, he's got his like hand, and I don't, I'm out. Right? The Gambit play should have been, or even the Electro play should have been enough to go like, I'm out.
Yeah, that Electro
probably,
plays
yeah.
pretty.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun with Super.
Hmm.
Okay, so they just play Gambit on turn
What?
3 every single time?
What?
It works for them, I guess.
Oh, I guess they're gonna Odin that later, and it's just their
Yeah,
their
So-
curve. Yeah.
So I don't Modoc and get rid of my Hela. I think I just Howard on Superflow since it's going to move next turn anyways, and I'll just miss out for one turn.
sure, you'll probably just play Iron Lad on Super if it's not Modo.
Here comes Mystique.
Hey, good call. You didn't want a Modoc. We would get Electro. Do we want Electro?
Well, if they're gonna destroy these cards and they come back in, no, they can't. That's gonna be 6/5. Yeah.
I mean, it's just for points, but
Yeah.
He's running Exodia, right? So
I think
Is
I'm
that
gonna
Exodia?
I'm gonna leave it out.
wait. Oh, we have time. Like, what was the scenario where we play multiple cards per turn anyway?
Don't know.
Then let's get the 6 points.
Here, so I can slam this here,
when'd you die?
and then
Against their if they're gonna drop Odin soon, like
Well, if they do, it's next turn. But if we're just looking at the fact that what's the card on top of our deck? Be something. Turn. Visible Woman. That
say we
doesn't
just
help.
roll out. I retreat
Yeah.
on that type of thing.
Yeah, that's fine. This is not a problem.
Fantastic. Let's get some luck. Okay.
this is pretty
That's
good
great.
protection for your invisible.
This is-
Yeah.
Yeah, we can run Viz on this one.
I wouldn't play Invisible in Stork Tower because your cards you put behind her doesn't get the buff.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't think about that.
Actually, like I would have magicked it.
Yeah. I didn't think about it. Whoops.
We have time. It's okay.
Can't move it.
No, but it's okay because you got Necrosha and it's really good to magic. I mean, your opponent plays Luke Cage.
True.
Okay, we know they are not playing anything that can counter the combo except Super Lucky Gambit on Invisible Woman, which is 20%. Do we just snap this? I mean, we put them on match point. Feels like something we want to do.
I'm snapping. Let's go. Plus, we'll have Howard to tell us what we got coming, and we got 3 draws out of 5 cards. Feels good.
Do we even need outward? Like, are we gonna have enough space?
Yeah, because I'm gonna leave Stark Tower open, and they don't have any
Oh, but
way.
so you're
to,
not gonna play Electro? You're gonna play just outward this turn?
I mean, I don't need to play Electro.
Or you just
I would-
play your cards in case you don't draw Modoc? Like with Electro, you can just play Tribunal, play Infinite, play just cards. But
True.
then,
I would-
then you lack space.
Play him instead of Howard. Yeah.
Because the
So
problem
listen-
is now you're gonna lack
Okay.
space.
Well, I can skip 5 and play Infinite, and then play Tribunal.
Ugh.
Because see
Looks like I have
now,
crystal.
you can't have your combo of Tribunal, Onslaught, Iron Man because you have no location with 3 spots available.
Tribunal doesn't have to be in the location.
True. Yeah, Tribunal doesn't. Well, it's just a 9, so it makes a lot of point. Because now you're
That's
gonna
fair.
do it with Magic and Squirrel or Invisible Woman and Squirrel.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, if he plays Odin, he'll make space. It would be such a mistake to play Odin for him.
Wait,
Yeah.
he doesn't have Gambit right now. Why would he play Odin? Like Odin just on Ironheart right now? And once again, personally, I would just play Ella behind Invisible Woman, so it's done. And if we draw MODOK, we can just play it. But double Luke
What?
Cage.
What?
Weird flex, bro.
He's well. He knows we're not running a rogue, so the I don't know what he's.
All right, so I'm drawing him next turn. So
You're drawing MODOK?
yeah. So I think what I do is I just do nothing and then play it next turn in an open space.
I would play Tribunal
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the middle in case he plays Azmat.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's
Good
just
call.
so you make sure you get your 9 down because you're gonna lack space. So
Smart.
all right,
I don't
MODOK.
understand his play.
See how it shakes out. Hit magic.
They need space. That's nice.
Yeah, we'll get all of our cards out there.
Well, you should win because you tie middle and then a ton of points on the right. Oh no, you're
It feels
spreading
like
points. Yeah.
it feels like they got completely the wrong draw order, and they just insisted on staying in no matter what. It was.
It kind of felt like a bot. I'm not gonna lie.
I was thinking the same thing.
I hope it wasn't, but it kind of felt like a bot.
I mean, it can't, right? It can't be a bot,
I mean,
unless this is the first time you're.
I mean, it can't, but I really hope that was a bot and not a human for the sake of humans.
I don't know. I play like dumb stuff like that sometimes. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I contributed to people's. Hey, I played a bot this turn too.
Yes, that's one of my strengths.
I'm a bot. All right.
All right,
Well-
Silvermint. Which Cerebro are we trying?
I'd like to try discard, but I'm still fiddling. I've got two weaknesses, not with the deck, but with my design. One is obviously if you discard the Cerebro, bring it back with a Ghost Rider or something, or Mystique, that doesn't count as playing, right? So you can weaken your own combo with this. The other one is right now the discard is fiddly because this tends to involve a lot of one or and specifically 2 cost cards, and so it's hard for Colleen Wing to get Swarm going. So thinking about how to fine tune the give me multiple copies of Swarm is my current problem.
I mean, you're playing Bast. You could just play Wong in the. And that makes Gambit better. That gives you a third target for Mystique. And you can make more swarms with Colleen. But yeah, Colleen with Swarm when or your deck has the same power feels a little weird, to be honest.
So, yeah, because it depends on getting the Bast to change Colleen. The other option is I could drop a blue Marvel for Valkyrie and hope to fix Colleen later, but that's, again, it seems tenuous.
Question, why are we not playing Moon Knight as he's a 3?
I think so I've got an idea with this deck, but it's being held back by my caution. I'm worried about discarding the wrong pieces. I really want to find a way to target Swarm, and so hiding important cards behind Invisible Woman is part of that. It could just be that I need to accept that this is more of a high roll deck and play.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah,
think it is. Like,
fair.
to be honest, I think I would like maybe cut Invisible. I don't know if you want Zabu or not in it, but at least get Wong in there, and then you get Gambit and Moon Knight, and you just hope like they get the right discords or they disrupt your opponent enough.
So we're dropping Colleen to do this, because she's the part that isn't smooth power wise.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at my game. Let me switch over.
So let's get the base done, and
Okay.
so
I don't think I see your screen at the moment.
really? Oh, because you were maybe on. Oh, because I'm not sharing. Yes, that's a reason. Here.
Okay, clicking over. Okay, yeah.
So. This is the core. Form. Gambit. Would you say something else is core in that idea?
Something that fixes locations for us. So either Scarlet Witch or Rhino, or
Let's go for
honestly Magic could work. Or wait, no, not Magic. No, I was thinking about
Okay, so now Blue Marvel worked because if you get all your swarms, you get a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now we need to multiply the swarms. And Blade alone is not gonna do it.
That's right. So you're adding a Wong to this?
Well, first I'm trying to see how can I discard more.
Gotcha.
And in the trees, I see Moon Knight. Otherwise, we're gonna have to talk about absolutely stupid combo, which is Bast Modok to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other problem is, yeah, Colleen in a deck with Bast. How do you reliably get Swarm?
Yeah.
Is it
part of this has started
cost power?
Oh, sorry, go.
It's lowest cost.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a problem. Like, if it's lowest cost, that means you have to play Blade before Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to risk it eventually. Like, unless you're keeping them to turn 5, you're risking Blue Marvel, you're risking Ghost Rider, you're risking all that kind of stuff. So if you're gonna risk it, get your opponent with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least bring them down with you. And then you had what? Shadow King. So was Shadow King for a specific reason, or just because it's a good tech card?
It's partly this was starting as a way to try to defeat things that I was seeing in the meta, and then also surprise them with points. So I had Valkyrie and Shadow King because I was trying to, limit certain decks, and there's the Cerebro synergy, but
So something
that's not a core piece.
Something you can do to help the Discord synergy is play low-cost cards. Because low-cost cards are going to make your hand more manageable, and you're going to be able to dump them out before you... So you can maximize the effect of Swarm. So are there 3 costs that are cheap? No. Let's... Well, there's Jeff. We always want Jeff out of our hand. Stupid idea. Do we want Falcon to get Blade back? Probably too specific. And we're already in the 3 costs. Alright, so let's remove the power. Let's see if there's just cheap stuff that is worth basting. We could play Wasp. But then we also want to play Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Then we would Wasp and change Blue Marvel for Valkyrie. Something like that.
If we don't, do we need fast in this current version because yeah, Cerebro and Mystique aren't going to get their own points, but now we've only got it in there for a couple of.
Well, it's part of the I'm cheap, so you can dump me kind of cards, but these are
Fair enough. Yeah.
These are just ideas, to be honest.
Mhm.
Roll Girl gives targets Valkyrie.
We're looking for.
It becomes a 4. That's annoying. Can you go back to before you were buffed, please? We want protection. I mean, if it's Cerebro 3, yeah, there's Shadow King. We could play Echo. Maybe we don't need Valkyrie. Maybe we could play something like that and just be like, what happens if we do this? And we're just like, we're playing points and fuck destroy.
Let me see.
Or get Shadow King in because you have a ton of on reveals. Yeah. Killmonger? Only Blade? I mean, Killmonger works. Is Jean Grey good? Because once you get Jean Grey, you can just play a Swarm behind it and then you're free to play other cards somewhere else. Wait, weren't we playing Professor X in Cerebro 3? You have Swarms, it's easy to fill the location, and you buff it with Cerebro afterwards.
Yeah, this is I've have some different versions of Cerebro I'm working on. The one that's more controlish does use Professor X.
I mean, we have Shang-Chi, we have these kind of cards. I feel like we're
What
obligated
about
to...
Leech?
Oh, Leech? Oh. Huh.
Yeah. Leech is one I've played with. I mean,
Full-
this actually has a surprising number of
Let's disrupt people.
tech options.
Yeah, you just disrupt everyone.
So this is the design question I have. As I start pulling in more and more of the tech cards like Shang, Leech, etc., it makes me not want to use the discard version of this, where I get like a Gambit, Swarm effect, and more something like multiple man Doctor Strange, maybe a Ghost Spider for an extra free move. I mean, if I really want to preserve all of my tech cards, discard seems to pull in the opposite direction. If I'm just trying to find a way to clone Swarm, then I don't want to focus as much on the tech cards because I may lose them.
Yes. This is why we just play Leech as a one-off. And then it's just like... Because here, your tech cards are actually your discard cards, like Moon Knight and Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you only have one tech card, which is Leech. And it doesn't even have to be Leech, it can be something else. But Leech is kind of a I'm gonna annoy everyone kind of card.
Fair.
Yeah, it's either that or Wong. Yes. I don't know, whatever you feel like trying. Like,
yeah.
Because, I mean, otherwise,
so
Cerebro 3 has been popping in stats lately, so we could just pull the list that works, and that's just annoying. Wait, why can't we play Crystal? More reliability. So you find Swarm, you find Cerebro and everything.
I like Crystal a lot in this.
And, like, we just play a super low hand. Does this work? Does this ever work?
Let's see what you've got. And so you dropped Invisible Woman. It is a way to protect Cerebro, but it goes in the opposite direction of just playing low cards. You're playing it through the low cards. I see. That's how you're protecting. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. So we've got no Invisible in this version. We've got Jeff adding Scarlet.
Like, we're just trying stuff at this point. Like, the idea is just a concept deck, and let's see what happens. By the way.
Oh, can you... there we go, thanks.
Yeah, I was just I just wanted to pull the Cerebro 3 list from the tier list just to it looks.
Oh, fair.
But I think he was just pull the tick cards in the game kind of stuff.
Yeah. So let's see, you've got Gambit, yeah, Cerebro. What am I missing? Oh, Moon Knight and Crystal, there we go.
Oh, you could also play because you don't have it here, but Iron Man is really good in that. that kind of deck. But yeah, if you're curious, this is the Cerebro tree that popped out last week, which is super traditional. I mean, you have Killmonger and Shang-Chi in a deck, so you can't do so bad. Iron Man because Bast and Valkyrie. I mean, it was super traditional.
Let's see. So we've got Wasp, Blade, Bast, Jeff, Scarlet.
It's true that now Mystique only has one friend, so maybe the last card is actually like as you play like Blue Marvel or Iron Man. Yeah, I guess like the deck is this, and then just fill the last one.
Okay, and you dropped which one for that, Crystal?
Yeah, because in the end, our hand is
okay.
our goal is to empty our hand, and Crystal kind of fills it. So I guess we need an ongoing for Mystique to be reliable.
Yeah, we may have lost a. Let's see. So got Shadow King, the Marvel. Just looking over my power list real quick. So I guess Iron Man is a good option. Blue Marvel is a good option.
I like Blue Marvel. Like you had it at first, it synergized with Swarm and everything. Let's try it with Blue Marvel. Like the goal is just to try stuff. Honestly, like this gameplay part is for you guys. So whatever you feel like trying, let's try it.
I like it.
Sorry, I had to step out real quick. Are we working on C3?
Yep.
I like where we're at. This is looking pretty sporty.
Alright, and then whenever you're ready, just share your screen.
Sounds good.
Fascinating because both of you are using decks I've never once played.
Yeah, I mean,
honest. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, the gameplay part is really about like I'll let you guys choose whatever you like most. So yeah, decks can be pretty exotic from a session to another.
Yeah.
I've never played Cerebro. I've never played Hela. I'm more of the I like the kind of to counter to interact kind of thing. So it's interesting.
Dude, I'll tell you that Hela before Invisible Woman became the way for MODOK and Hela, and you had to pray to not draw Hela until you played MODOK, or you just discarded everything. You had to dance around before MODOK, because I played discard before MODOK came in, and that was fun too. And then you just tried to get all the other stuff that wasn't. You didn't have big beaters in there. You just had a bunch of, valued discard cards like Blade or whatever, Moon Knight, and you just hope that you didn't end up dropping Hela. But there was a stint where I would have Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider would pull Hela like 80% of the time. It was a bug, dude. And people didn't play it, and it was nasty, man. Like, nobody could touch me when I played Hela. It was so sick. But those were the old days, and now Hela is really hard to run. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I haven't played a lot of Cerebro. I've been noticing that both a lot of the fun move cards and control cards and tech cards have been coming out are all threes, and it got me starting to wonder what we could do. So, shall we try silver or gold for better competition, or
as you wish?
All right. Well, I want to try this against better things, so I want to go gold, I think. Let me make sure I've got actually the right deck here. What was I doing this? Cerebro, discard. Okay.
All right. Impress us with that Cerebro. Let's see if it works.
Oh, no harm wasping right now. And I think this is safe to play in Xandar as well. So it's not going to affect us either way.
Why would you wasp right now when she costs 0 and you have full flexibility to use?
Yeah, I guess if the idea is to pay down, we can pay down at any time. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and especially you have Bast in your deck. If you draw Bast, you
That's
just
true.
essentially lost 2 power.
No, that's right. That's right. All right, that makes me happier I didn't play it. I still think right now I want to pass.
Yep, and we might just have to just literally like play Cerebro into Mystique middle.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so we know what they're playing.
Okay, so yeah, it's starting to look a bit like that, right?
I think so. Destroy shouldn't have any counter cards, so I think you can just go for it, take the extra energy. And the goal is you get the extra energy by turn 4, so you can try to take the Volt. Or use Cerebro into Mystique onto the Volt. Because right now... Oh, what? Well, we could take the Volt if we go Swarm Jeff. Great. Oh, we don't have Shadow King. Shadow King would fully destroy.
Yeah, that was one of my tech cards I've really been enjoying, but
Oh, we
it
had
doesn't really do anything unless you're...
We had one
What's that?
slot. I mean, we had one slot.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I want to copy this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the question is, do you want to play Mystique or not?
Mystique, yeah.
Yeah, so I can go Mystique to the right, involved, and then yeah. I mean, I could claim this now, but I don't think there's a reason to. They're not going to get it this round either.
Yeah,
I don't think. At this point, should we play Wasp or let them not think we're about to compete for it?
you can still play it next turn.
I agree. Okay.
It's still a 0 and it's not clogging your hand, so.
Okay, so let's see. I can pretty easily get... Well, okay, so I could just, fill this up with Jeff Swarm, Wasp, get the points. But I think right now, discarding with a Moon Knight would really hurt them. And then I could also play, say, Jeff and Bast in the middle and claim that too. So I'm kind of tempted to do something like, or Wasp, I mean.
Yeah, that works.
Something like this.
But you don't want to play right to win it? Because, okay, you get the energy, but you can only use your energy on the left. Don't you want to just win right?
So you'd put Moonlight, Moon in the right?
I'd do everything right. You can move Jeff.
True.
Like,
so like this?
Yeah, so you win right, and if they don't compete, you just move Jeff away, and if they compete, you don't move Jeff away.
Ah.
No, Moon Knight. Oh, bye-bye, Killmonger.
All right, okay, yeah, that's far more optimal. I really like that.
Oh.
Okay,
Nice. Too bad.
Okay, so then for me the question is, what are they going to drop? Let's see. They're not going to Zola that. They're not going to. There's no advantage to them doing something like Destroyer at this point. Are they just going to do Null? They haven't really destroyed enough.
Oh, they destroyed Wolverine twice. Venom destroyed stuff on the left. They have what? They got +1. Then they got Wolverine. Their null is like 11 or 12.
Or Zola right, Zola left, and that gives them both. They could give both lanes, right?
No, Blue Marvel's gonna win the right, but I don't understand why we're playing middle in.
Cards here have +1 power. I don't want to throw off the Cerebro.
Oh yes, Xandar. My bad. Is
this Does this look like our best bet? I think.
That's our only bet.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't think we've got it. Well, it depends what they've. Oh, okay.
Oh, you got it.
All right. Or.
Oh no, because Blue Marvel
Oh
is
no.
buffed.
Yeah.
Blue
Um,
is Blue Marvel that good in this deck because he doesn't buff himself? Because usually Blue Marvel is played on Cerebro 2 because he brings everyone at his level. In Cerebro 3?
Yeah, so this has some trade-offs. Then it limits our overall.
I mean, Blue
point
Marvel is gonna
potential,
be
yeah.
Blue Marvel is gonna be good once you have all your swarms.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
not that good.
Yeah, he's not going to win it by himself. So I'm going to skip this. Okay, that's fun. Well,
you could Moon Knight.
sorry,
You
go
have
ahead.
Ghost Rider.
That's what I'm thinking of. The worst case scenario is I discard Cerebro and I bring it right back. And it can disrupt his deck quite a bit. So yeah, I think Moon Knight middle.
You have Jeff, but I think I would play it right. You only have
And
Jeff to go contest label looking.
that's true. Should I get rid of Wasp now to? No, because discarding her is no big deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
kind of weird, but
yeah. I could expect. Ah.
Hey, you wanted to Phoenix Nova?
Huh. I guess that gives him a much stronger null. That's interesting. All right, so I'm not sure I want to feed him with the Gambit.
Oh no, you don't want to feed him. He
Yeah.
showed you he couldn't
So-
disrupt Cerebro, so just go for it.
Yeah, so I think Cerebro, say middle.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, this is definitely going to be like a null death. Let's see. So saving Gambit for the last round could be handy because if I don't have priority, I can knock out one of his two big cards.
What, you're gonna get Gambit next turn to discard swarms.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually play them on the last turn.
So does that mean we want to say Blue Marvel now?
Yeah, and we also want a Wasp because otherwise next turn you're gonna have to pay her.
That's right. All right, so we know that Blue Marvel isn't going to help us win lanes, so I think maybe center, and we're going to be. I mean, I guess
Play Wasp first.
Wasp first?
Because in case.
Oh, right, in case we had a Mystique. Yeah. Nice. So this seems right, I think.
That seems okay.
Okay.
And yeah, looking at how reliably we're getting fast, maybe Blue Marvel for Valkyrie makes sense.
Yeah.
We got Wasp, we got all that. That annoys a lot of decks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not something too expensive, please. Hey, we got Mystique. So do we want the 50-50 or do we want the Mystique? Do you 50-50 Gambit on Swarm or do you just Mystique Blue Marvel?
Let's see. So the Swarm doesn't help us at all if we Gambit next turn. But I think we want to Gambit because, yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, we still can just play Swarm normally. That's for some points. But no, they haven't dropped their big cards that we're afraid of. So I think we want to play Mystique and try to use Gambit to destroy, even if we don't get a bunch of swarms out of it.
All right, let's do that then.
That's my hunch. All right, so now we want to play her.
Middle.
Yeah.
That's just gonna be a support.
Yeah, that seems right.
Oh, hello there.
Now, that's what we need. Yeah, we need targets to hit. And we shouldn't have priority. That's excellent.
All right.
Okay. So,
Just play it.
I'm sorry, what?
You need to have something. If you're going to use the gambit, right, you have to make sure that there's something left, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think what I want to do is Gambit and then Swarm, and let him discard Blade.
Yeah.
So now, where do we think he's gonna? Where do we think he's gonna drop Null? Like, where do we? Well, we can't outcompete Null. So then the Swarm. Let's see if he drops it left and we don't hit it. It doesn't matter. So I think we drop this on the right.
Yeah, you get ahead on 2 lanes. Like you need to win 2 lanes, so get ahead on 2 lanes and hope get lucky.
Yeah, I think this is the right way.
Oops.
Nope. What? Okay, don't hit Wolverine.
Hey, we won.
All right.
So,
Hey.
Blue Marvel is
I didn't
disappointing for sure, but
Yeah.
we're getting places. We're going places.
Let's see. What do we have? Ah, fun. So, I don't think we have our valuable discard targets yet. There's no benefit to play Wasp. I think we just hold this.
Yep.
Okay. And depending on how he uses Sinister, I may just want to Scarlet that. Oh. Oh, well, so getting rid of Gammas may be important because I don't want to feed his Null with that.
Well, and also
So I can let him...
He showed you Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm. So I might wait to Scarlet that in a second. In the meantime, do I have enough to Bast yet?
I would Scarlet now, so next turn. And
Okay, so
Sinister,
Scarlet...
Sinister isn't so bad because you're Cerebro. Like, copying Cerebro is good, copying Blue.
Okay, I like it. Oh.
From bad to worse.
Yeah. I mean, so one minor advantage of Rhino. Okay, yeah, I get his snap, honestly. So let's see.
Oh, there's only one choice here.
Fast.
No.
I don't know. I think maybe Gambit just to try to take some of his Novas off. No,
Leave
that's not gonna
this
help.
game.
His Deadpool's. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Get
okay.
away from here.
Correct. Okay. I was like, I don't see the upside. Like it's just.
That's the play. Get away from here. You got double
That's right.
Deadpool, double Nova. Is about to hit you. Get 2 6-power Deadpool back in hand with Death Domain. Just get out of here.
Yes. Correct. Okay. So that's obviously going to be my Ghost Rider is going to get pulled. I'm noticing this deck passes on its first a lot. That's interesting.
Well, your only one is Blade, and your hand is never going to be just Swarm.
That's right. So I think pass here.
Aha!
Hey,
you were wrong.
Okay.
It's like the best pull you could have had.
Shows what I know. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Can we get you?
So.
I want Valkyrie in this deck so much.
Right. Okay. I definitely want to put Valkyrie back in. Let's see. So. I don't have anything to destroy Shuri yet. I don't have any reason. Yeah, I think I just skipped this too.
Yes. Okay.
Oh man. Okay, honestly, Scarlet and Rhino maybe.
All right, time to try some discard.
Yeah. So let's get rid of. Let's see. I can do Moon Knight right now. Hurt them. But I want to play. No, I don't want to play Wasp then. Or I
Yeah,
could do
you won't.
Blade and Wasp.
Nah, just play Moon Knight and Wasp.
Yeah, to maximize our chance to swarm. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now we don't care about Wasp losing points.
Well, you also don't care about Wasp gaining points.
Oh, so you mean played in the middle? Smart. Okay.
Yeah, and then the game's one, right?
I'm sorry.
The game's only one, so it's a 2.
Yeah.
It stays below your 3, is what I was getting at.
That's right. That's right.
And here, question: if Wasp gains 2 and then you Blue Marvel, it gets 3. Does it gain all of Cerebral's effects then?
If Wasp...
If you double Wasp in Sherry's lab and then Blue Marvel, it will now gain 1 extra. Does it gain? Then once it gains 3, does it pick up all of the effects of Cerebral?
No,
because
the others
everything else will be 4.
Yeah, because the others are going to be 4.
Oh, that
So-
makes sense. Okay. I don't play Cerebral, so it makes sense.
I think I want to Blade, and maybe even Bast in the middle.
Yeah,
Just try to hit more swarms.
let's do it again.
All right.
We're going to need to play a place to play all these swarms, but... No! This deck is fun. It doesn't look really good, but it's fun.
It doesn't have all its pieces, but it's
Ooh, that's good.
okay. Okay. So let's see here.
I mean, you're not
I
gonna
don't
win
think
middle.
I'm sorry?
If that can help, you're not gonna win middle.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to double his power. So maybe throwing Blue Marvel onto the right, because I don't care if he loses points.
Why not playing
I
on
want
to
his
the left?
effect.
Why not playing on to the left?
And I can move Jeff to the middle and
No,
keep
you
that
move
point
Jeff
total.
to the right. At
To the
some
right?
point, Def is gonna come down middle, and alone she's gonna lose you that lane. Middle is lost forever. If you want,
Okay.
if you're gonna win this game, it's left and right, 100%.
So, but if I move Jeff
Once
to the right now, I'm gonna lose points on it. It's not gonna get the Cerebro benefit.
Okay, and my question is, why right now? What's forcing you to do it right now?
Oh yeah, I'm saying I don't want to, right?
Yeah, no, we don't want to.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. This is the moment where the middle is lost. All right,
Yeah.
middle is lost.
Temptation. So he has priority. Gambit could be.
Mm,
We discarded his null, and Death is his only big card left.
I think you're looking
Um,
pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. So
you double Gambit? Oh no, there's no double on this one, right? No,
No.
my bad. Sorry, I misread
So-
the location.
that's right.
Leave
I think
one
we
in
did-
hand. Leave one in hand and Gambit and Swarm on right.
Yeah.
And move Jeff
Play everything.
to right.
I would
Yeah.
move Jeff right, play something left, play double right.
Well, if you want to leave one in hand for Gambit to discard to hit one.
I don't care about hitting something. I want to win. If it touches
You
You
middle,
don't think?
like they have priority, so you have no idea how
Yeah.
much there's gonna be to hit. And if you hit anything except Def, I'm pretty sure it's completely irrelevant considering Null is out the equation. Like
True.
they discarded Null,
Yeah.
so you know they're gonna play multiple cards. And if they play multiple cards, there's literally nothing except for Def that's gonna help.
Yeah. So we're just trying to win on raw points. We don't have Cerebro anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're just going like we're cowboys right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Look. Oh no. Oh yes. The cowboy strategy. Look at this magnificent cowboy strategy winning the game.
This is absurd. Okay.
And see if you I'll stay on it. It's okay. But see
What?
if you played
Oh.
Gambit and kept one swarm, it's only if you touch one of the two on the right that
Yeah.
it actually matters. So you only had 40% that Gambit actually did something right. So I'd
You are
rather
right
have
on that one.
100% points than 40% maybe.
That's right. That was elegant. I did not see that play. Okay, I'm gonna skip this. Honestly, Aunt May's is great for Cerebro because all of a sudden, hey, 3 power. Or I could just destroy it now and prevent him from getting the benefit.
I would say against the destroy deck, you probably want to destroy the destroy location.
Yeah, no, fair point, fair point.
He showed you he showed you Hood, so you can play Hood plus Bucky, Hood plus Wolverine, Hood plus Deadpool, and they all die.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let me get Scarlet in the middle.
That's not so bad. Many bad locations for us, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So, definitely don't want to gambit that Wolverine right now. The Mystique won't copy anything. Wasp is no. I think we just skip this.
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
It's weird that I reliably need. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just happy we drew a playable card.
Yeah, that's right. It's weird that against our opponent here, we need to reliably get Gambit to defeat the Destroy deck. It's just this is playing oddly right now. So I think I'm gonna Moon Knight just in the middle. There's also an argument for the right because at some point I'm gonna have to contest it, but this is good enough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to draw Cerebro.
Right. So maybe Crystal and Valkyrie are the two we're really noticing so far. And of course. But hey, that was nice.
It's too late
Okay.
for that.
Let's see. I mean, I think we want a Blue Marvel now, and we're gonna Mystique later. We can Mystique on the left, which will give that some points too.
Yes.
So I think Blue Marvel in the center, probably.
The big question is, do you want to play Wasp or not? I kind of want to play Wasp middle, because you're looking pretty good in the middle, but then you have to play it before Blue Marvel, otherwise your Mystique doesn't.
Right. Oh,
but the idea is Wasp Blue Marvel, so the middle is filled. So when you play Mystique on the left, she moves to the right, and you have a safe Mystique that actually gets you points on the lane you want to win.
Oh, magnificent. Okay, I like that.
Wolverine, stay on the left. Stay on the left, Wolverine. Bad Wolverine.
Well, we can always Gambit and hope. No. No. Okay. Wow, we are not getting our Cerebro. So I think Mystique is our first card on you say on the left, as you say. That's perfect. And then
You have to try Gambit.
If you play it on the left, it's going to go to the right.
Yeah, we want it to go to the right. No, you have to. You have to try your luck with Gambit.
Yep. So then Jeff on the left. No. Oh no, you're saying. I see what you're saying. Gambit.
I mean, you're not beating 12 or 15 unless Gambit snipes something.
So then I think maybe Gambit on the right because maybe he'll be destroyed, but we're not going to beat the left anyway. So may as well try to win on the right.
Yeah, you have to be incredibly lucky here. What we're going for is super high roll at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, first part of the plan is good. Now we need second part of the plan to actually do its part. Gambit, you're gonna snipe Wolverine. Gonna go left. Oh. Wolverine was...
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have 2 shots.
Yeah. And the deck is doing better than I would expect. We've identified a couple of key substitutions. Like this is a very informative round. Okay, skip my first turn. Like, I think we have a 40% chance of winning this match, maybe 35, 40, but I've learned a lot. I'm pretty happy with this result.
That's cool.
That's
We don't
right.
have to, we don't have to win all the time as long as.
Exactly. Let's see. Yep, we want to end this. Yep.
We got it.
Yep. Okay, so
Well, you
the
can play it on.
Yeah, it's like exactly 3 turns, right?
Well, there's Starlight Citadel anyway.
Oh.
So it's gonna swap. So we just don't want to keep it on Mirror Island. So that means play it there now. So it doesn't land there by accident. Yep.
Exactly.
And we may as well play Wasp there too.
Or
Oh,
you
it's
can,
limbo. I didn't see the limbo. Jeez.
I'm sorry, what? Oh wait, let me play. If I'm gonna do that Wasp first and then Cerebro.
yes. In me.
Okay. That's right.
Okay, we're moving because then we're gonna Mystique, then we're gonna Blue Marvel, and then we have turn 6 to discard stuff.
Wait the Wasp until after Muir Island moved.
It doesn't change much because you get 2 turns anyway. Oh no, you get 3.
It's
Get
limbo,
5,
that's
6.
why, yeah.
Oh, you get 5, 6, and 7. But yeah, but then your Wasp is a 4, and then it fucks up your entire deck.
So you could play it. What I'm saying is you could play it on 5 then, right? Because it's Wasp, and then it'd be a 3.
Well, then you have to play it on 6. It gets the bonus on 6 and 7. But the
Interesting.
thing,
So I
Yeah,
think-
sorry.
yeah, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
it's a 3 as well right now. So
So I think we also want a Mystique here.
yep.
Okay.
How much do we want to try and catch our opponent off guard with Scarlet Witch on Limbo?
Always a fun strategy.
I've heard good things about it. I mean, we got the full synergy. We're going places this match. Like we have double Cerebro, Blue Marvel. It's okay.
Yeah. The other possibility is we Mirror Island so they can't keep building points there.
Nah, it's too good. You have to Blue Marvel, and next turn you can Gambit, Scarlet Witch, Blade, and just get a mount of like as many swarms as you want. But is it good? I think you Blue Marvel no matter what, and then next turn you just Scarlet Witch Limbo. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
So
you can't use Muir Island because it destroys your entire deck. So
yeah.
Next turn you just play your hand on Limbo and hope you win.
Okay. Let's see.
Because they're gonna keep playing on Muir Island. Oh, if only we had Valkyrie to stay. Ah, good Wolverine. Right? Stay on the lane we don't want.
Okay, so now they're probably gonna drop a
bang.
Now, hold on. I think so. If we're gonna Muir Island the Limbo, that leaves us 4 to work with. Yeah, so I guess we've got 2 options: try to close it out and catch them off guard with the Scarlet play on Limbo, or we could try to use our discard strategy. But we're not going to beat them on raw points, so I think we've got to try to win middle right this turn.
Yes.
Close the game.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, close the game and hope it doesn't. We'll have something that goes +1, right?
That's right. So I could Gambit. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You want to play something for Scarlet Witch, because if it's a bad location, you're gonna be punished.
True.
Voyeur,
So
former.
why not this maybe?
Yeah, that works. I wouldn't play Gambit because if it snipes Hood, it's bad, and if it snipes Wolverine, it's bad.
Wolverine, it's bad. Yeah. So here we go.
Let's steal it.
Either game.
Let's.
Death is Death Center. But you're gonna beat Death. Oh, that's good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, though.
Yeah. Well,
One more
Valkyrie.
Oh,
Oh,
Valkyrie.
Death.
Valkyrie would have won
still
so
have
many
managed.
games.
Yeah.
Last time. Yep. It's
Well. Yeah, I skip. Yep.
I mean, you're getting destroyed to like the end of it. Oh, they get the best location. Filthy.
Let's see. No real benefit from bossing this round. May as well just skip it and destroy the rocks.
just play Cerebro Zero.
I like that.
Cerebro Zero. Just win collapse mine. I actually lose.
Just Mystique, Cerebro, and Box.
We just play best because we can.
Sure.
Either that or you try Moon Knight.
I feel like Moon Knight is stronger at the moment.
Moon Knight.
Yeah. And certainly in the middle if we don't have a lot of choice here. Come on, give us Death or Null. Oh.
Or you can Gambit it.
Gambit the Death?
It's the last game. Something has to happen. Or you can abandon the middle. That works too. But you could.
Let's see.
Something I would go for, which I think is completely nuts, but that's probably how we win it, is Gambit, hope they Venom middle, and snipe Venom.
Oh, that could be fun.
I don't think you have many choices.
Nope. And probably Bast in the middle too.
Nah, because I want Bast to go.
Okay, fair.
Bast is the card I want to lose.
Fair. All right, let's see what happens.
Come on, Gambit. Oh,
Come on.
Let's
This
go.
is too silly. This is too silly. I love it.
So you can hit Wolverine again?
Oh, come on, don't be bad luck. Oh no!
Hey, it didn't hit Wolverine. 100% no Wolverine hit. I love it. Okay, so I think let's Scarlet this side.
I mean, you play everything.
Yeah. Blade. It doesn't matter now where, and Bast.
It matters where.
Oh.
Can you ever catch up to middle?
Oh yeah. Oh good. No. So yeah, we've got to play it left.
Then it matters where.
Fair. And then maybe we discard Bast in the center because we're not going to win it, and we want to keep the left open. Okay.
Well, we're gonna get 2 swords.
Yeah, that's something.
Oh, please. Oh, it's an 11.
Oh. That moves.
Why didn't we play Killmonger in a series?
No. Okay, so I'm just saying, Rhino has some benefits here. Like it has no like surprises to it.
Yeah, like let's look at this game. If Scarlet Witch was Rhino, we would definitely be in it.
I mean, fair point, but oh, okay, so
The Cerebro deck with no Cerebro.
I mean, we
You know,
tried.
this-
We tried something. Now we know why Cerebro 3 should be played with Killmonger, Shang-Chi, and the good card.
or Crystal Valkyrie. I'm still want to try that.
Valkyrie is in the Cerebro 3.
So okay, so here's the question: should I be the first person in history to retreat on the final game point?
Oh, you're not the first one.
Okay,
Yeah, I've done it before.
okay, fair.
But you're gonna. You might be
yeah.
But you might be the first person to trade Mystico Swarm.
I mean, do
Yeah.
I have any other play than this?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you actually have 0.01% chance to win if you just drop Snoll in the middle.
Because of course you wouldn't want to contest the lanes when he's
Yeah, like he's just trying
Idiot.
he's just trying to flex you. What?
wait.
Oh, he took out your blade.
He flexes.
Hold on.
you.
What?
No, you're gonna
Hold
lose
on.
by, you're gonna lose by 1 point on the right.
Hold on, this is so annoying. Hold on.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, right off.
Oh, that could have been the funniest thing ever if we had won that.
Tonight's opponents have been extremely weird. Okay, well if we played right, we would have won.
I mean,
All right.
and if we had played a different deck, we would have won. I mean, there were a lot of options.
Probably as well. All right,
Okay.
that session was very long because we had a lot of fun. So that's
But I
nice.
appreciated the data.
No
Yeah.
problem. I mean, yeah, after an OTA, it's important to just try stuff and have fun sometimes. Like, especially when we actually know what the best decks are. I mean, Legion move good cards and Surfer are top 3. I don't think a lot of people are
Yeah.
gonna argue with that. So sometimes it's cool to just test stuff.
That's right.
All right, thanks a lot to everyone for joining us. If you're still here on YouTube, thanks for catching the whole thing. Hope it was informative in some way. And on this note, good night, everyone. I'll put up a vote for the next session. I think next week is break, so there's no OTA, no nothing. So I guess next week we'll either go to an evergreen topic about card games in general, or we'll just have a gameplay session based on tier list or something like this. So like these are the weeks where you can suggest topics and that kind of things if you want, because the game is not imposing anything on us. So if you have any suggestions for a topic you'd like to be covered next week, feel free. On this note, I will cut the video. Bye-bye.